So, hello everyone. Welcome back to yet another session from Cyber Preserve. This is your host Aastha. But as you know, now we have other two co-hosts with us as well. So I'm not alone now. I have Shruti and Saman with us. You're going to see them very often on our channel. So hi Shruti, hi Saman. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic, which is neurodiversity. So mind this, neurodiversity is an important topic but not a problem. So for to discuss this today, we have a very important speaker with us. He is the host of NeuroSec Podcast, Nathan Chung. So hi Nathan, welcome to our channel. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you, Aastha. I'm really happy to be here today.
Thank you so much. We are so glad. So, Nathan is going to talk about various aspects of neurodiversity today. Like, what is it actually? Many of us do not know it at all. Okay. So, to be honest, many of us do not know it more in detail. Now, how neurodiversity, like, what is neurodiversity? How it is connected to cybersecurity. So, how we can include more neurodiversity or neurodiverse audience in cyber, various initiatives, and whatnot. So, and plus, we are going to talk about his podcast as well. So, I'm very excited for this. And without wasting any time further, we are going to start.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for joining us. And just before starting up with the session, I just wanted to know where are you actually located from? I know you're from US, but like what part? Just
Hi,
curious to know. Yeah.
sure. I'm right outside Denver, Colorado, but originally I grew up in Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii. Nice. Nice. That's nice.
Eh,
Okay. So, Nathan, how did you actually started up with your journey of, being part of cybersecurity? How did you landed up here? Was it, from day one, or actually transferred from a different space to cybersecurity? So, what was your journey?
yes. My career has been a long journey spanning more than 20 years. I started in IT, working for the police department in Hawaii first. I worked my way up and then I transitioned into cybersecurity, working at Jimbri, where I led their security compliance program. Now I specialize in cloud security architecture, and I really like cloud security.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, now like you're part of like which proper if we ask like which proper domain are you more diverse towards, like as I can see you were first with IT, then came down to cloud
Mhm.
security. So now are you transforming it to another department or the same cloud only?
It's the same, cloud security. I have a lot of experience, especially on the IT infrastructure side. I think that's why I like cloud security, because with the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a big rush to migrate to the cloud. But similar to the internet, it's like people go there first and then they worry about security later. And that's why
Yeah,
there's a huge demand for cloud security right now.
yeah. In fact, my firm is also had moved to cloud in this COVID time. So yeah, cloud is the new cool. What we say, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's really good to know. And that is so productive in this growing journey of yours. So, we came to know that you recently started a podcast on NeuroSec. Like, can you tell us more about it, or can you give us about your, thoughts on neurodiversity first?
Yeah, sure. So neurodiversity was described by Judy Singer in 1999 that some brains work differently. Neurodiverse conditions include autism, ADHD, dyslexia, Tourette's, and many more. People with such conditions are not disabled and do not need a cure. It is a common misconception that neurodiverse conditions only affect men, but women are affected too, and they often go undiagnosed for years, and sadly, many suffer alone. I myself am actually autistic, and I also have ADHD. I got my official diagnosis for both just last month.
I'm really moved because this is something very new for us. and this is something that everyone should be aware of. And this is so
Definitely.
wonderful that you're coming forward and telling us about all these things. So can you tell us more about your NeuroSec podcast? Like, how did you get this idea, or can you share your vision with us?
Absolutely. I started the NeuroSec podcast last year to uplift the voices of neurodiverse people in the cybersecurity community and beyond. I have interviewed many amazing people, including Kat Cantillo, David Nakano, Dr. Stacey Thayer, Kim Crawley, Tia Hopkins, and many, many more. Their personal stories are very powerful, such as getting the first job in cybersecurity, interviewing, and fighting for acceptance in the workplace. For me, the podcast is very important because it helps me to get my voice out, because people such as myself often struggle in social situations. So it's like my way of getting my voice out there and to uplift others.
That's amazing. That's really amazing, Nathan. One thing I would not like to ask, but I would like to share. Whenever we are in any kind of pressure, or whenever rest of the population separates you from them, you often try to feel like you have a loss of identity at that moment. Like, who am I? And
Yes,
that loss of identity, I guess, leads to a lot of questions in our mind, like, will I be successful, will people accept me? And I think these things are so connected. Like, um one thing which is there in my mind is, out of all the speakers, and some of them are really eminent, like as you mentioned, like Kim Crawley and all, so they're very, very eminent in our cyber industry. So one thing is there for sure, like, um when they might have come to your podcast, they might have shared some of their challenges as well. So do you have any common challenges in your mind that a lot of your speakers, they might have faced at that moment?
yes, absolutely. In fact, some of the greatest challenges many neurodiverse people have revolve around being accepted in the workplace and in society. Being different is hard and often feels like being an alien or being isolated and alone. For many of my guests and for many people, including myself, it is a daily conflict that often leads to depression. It's just hard to be ourselves today.
Exactly. What I feel is, there's nothing to be sad about. There's nothing to even think about, like given a thought. Like, you should not give a thought about it. And knowing, for example, if the other person whom you are working with, or you know them through some XYZ reason, like we have communities. So if you get to know about this, I guess you don't have to think that way, like, oh my God, they are this. No, like, I myself feel so frustrated at these
Mm,
kinds of notions. Like, all of us, okay, some of these criteria is like neurodiverse. This is the term which is there, people now know a bit of it. But some of the weaknesses which we have in our mind, in our body, we never discuss all of them. And each one of us are carrying a struggle inside us every day. And
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
I'm really saddened to know this. Like, people are pointing out to a specific audience and then talking about it. I think they should be ashamed of doing all of these things. Absolutely. Because I have seen a lot of people. I do not know what their background, what their mental or physical condition is, but they are just awesome and amazing in the way they are. And so are you. So are you. So
Thank you.
first of all, I would like to give you a big round of applause from each one of us.
Thank you.
No, it requires courage. As you said, being different is hard, but I think it's a blessing in disguise. You and other individuals I know in community, or maybe in other area in the world, doing something different. But the best thing is, you guys are the best. And I guess, no, not different at all. I guess if we are differentiating, we are different, not you guys.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing this with us. And I'm really moved, because some of these struggles I can imagine which might have come. Do you have any specific speakers takeaway? Like, they came to your podcast, did they reach back to you again with the feedback like, hey, I felt light, I felt better, I felt more confident?
Yes.
So did
Yes.
you
My
kind
yes,
of?
absolutely. My last guest, her name's Kat Cantillo. So she shared her personal stories, even going through the job interview process. And job interviews for a lot of people are a nightmare, but she shared a lot of personal stories and things like getting bullied in school or, but now she's thriving. She is so happy in her job, and I'm really happy for people like that. And the crazy part is like, if not for the podcast, amazing stories like that would go untold. Like we would not know. So for me, the podcast is very important to bring these voices out and for people to enjoy.
Right, right. I totally get that. I totally get that because I think not only it's more about sharing, I think it's more about like making like getting the peace of mind. Okay. So the moment we get to know, like, oh, I met someone and they shared similar interest. So when you see people like you sharing similar interest, you're like more calm. You have that,
Yes.
you have reached that peace of
Mhm.
mind and you're like, whatever happens now, I will not care. I'm not alone. And as I said to you, we all of us, in fact including me, we have our own weaknesses, and the moment we find our counterpart in our colleagues and we are like, oh my god, I'm not alone, it's just we do not talk about all these small things all the time, and we
Mhm.
should not. So I'm very happy to listen to this. Like, not only the audience, not only the speakers who are coming to your podcast, they're sharing their journeys with you, but at the same time, when they're going back, like when they are off, like when your session is completed, when they're going off the video, the next moment, the very first realization in their mind would be like, this feels so amazing now. Like, where was this kind of a conversation before? I could have felt better 5 years ago or maybe 10 years ago. I think that is the biggest takeaway. It's not about discussing, just it's about bringing people's peace of mind, giving them, I think, confidence, because I feel I do sometimes when I'm going through a hard time and I discuss that with my peers, and I get to know that okay, they also encountered similar situations, they overcome that, they are there. So some of the people I know, oh my god, they're doing this, they're doing that, and that, I think, creates all the difference altogether. So
You know what? You brought up a very good point, because even for people who are neurodiverse, or just people in general, I think one area of struggle is like feeling like left out. Like I want to be this, I want to be just like everyone else. But it's a more powerful thing to start with accepting oneself and who you are instead of pretending to be someone else.
right, right, exactly. It's a pressure, I guess. It's a pressure that all of us go through. It's just some things, like I have personally seen this, some things are brought up in the world like a topic, and then the people itself, we ourselves, we make it a problem. And in fact, if we start bringing small problems and giving them name, they will become a problem itself. And then the other day or after 10 years, other set of the audience or population will start calling it a problem, which is not. It's like you do not have to think so much about it. And especially when we have such a talented audience and such a talented set of people who can contribute in numerous way, we have no idea. And I think when we bring this thought in our mind, we are stopping them to grow in their career, because not only you're rejecting them or you're restricting them at certain point in their workplace, you're bringing their confidence level down. So if they can do wonders naturally, you have stopped them with your own, let's say, persona, perception, thoughts. Because when you try to like bring all those thoughts together in your mind, like this person also thinks that same for me, something similar happened with me in a previous company, same colleague, same kind of thing. So we start to build a pattern, and when we bring that pattern to a reality, it's completely useless, because it's nothing. I think it's like an illusion which is building, 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 and it's stopping you from becoming that superman or superwoman which you can naturally become.
Absolutely. In fact, cybersecurity is a great field for neurodiverse people. They often have specialized skills such as hyperfocus, out of the box thinking, and attention to detail, along with
Right,
strong creativity.
right.
Job description. Yeah, go ahead.
Intuitiveness. I have seen, I have known few people with similar characteristics, and they're so intuitive. And sometimes I'm like, I did not think about it. And that's, I think, God gifted. As I said, it's a blessing in disguise. which is just hidden. It's like a hidden gem.
Absolutely. In fact, one of my podcast guests brought up something I didn't even think about, how when addressing conditions such as diversity, along the way as we solve those problems, everyone as a whole benefit, because it opens the door to greater creativity and new technologies that we probably would never have gotten or known about if we didn't have creative people.
That's so true. That is so true. Thank you. Like that's I think this is one of the best conversations I have. I don't know, in like when I had these one of these best conversations in my sessions like this, and this seems like very realistic, and I think I feel from heart. I think that's why I'm able to say so much, because I can feel it and I know that please stop doing this. Someone, I
Yeah,
think
and
something to say.
yeah, yeah. I was just onto the point that people have to actually understand that nobody is perfect. Everybody has their own level of imperfections in any way. Be it we will also have certain kinds of imperfections which we actually polish ourselves and come out to be more confident. So we also, what do we do? Like, we also go back to certain conferences or be part of certain sessions where we actually build up our confidence and come out with flying colors. So what could you suggest as confidence building sessions which could be taken up by neurodiverse audiences, which could actually give them a push, like a next level push, which they could actually feel if they are reluctant or anything from their end? So what could be done as a confidence building session?
Sure. It is a common practice for many neurodiverse people to wear masks in order to hide who they are, because they just want to fit in. But when I look at it, it is like running virtualization software such as VMware workstation on an old laptop. It eventually some crashes. The biggest key to building confidence that took me a long time to learn is knowing and accepting myself. Because if we cannot win that fight within our own heart, how can we expect others to accept us?
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's like, first you'll have to make yourself realize that yes, I can do it. Be it in any ways, I can do it. And then if you go out and you come out between like mindedness people, they surely actually accept you and take your inputs and everything. And that's really amazing. It's because it's always a bi-directional thing. You have to be
Absolutely.
inclusive from both the ends. One at the receiving end has to actually take you up that ways also, and you also have to push yourself towards that end. So yeah.
Absolutely.
I think one thing is more like when we talk about shyness, like as you mentioned, they wear mask. Okay, so it's not only building self confidence from within. I think individuals who are outside, okay, whom you are meeting in conferences or at workplace, they should make you feel at ease. And making you feel at ease doesn't mean that you have to give any special attention. No, it's
Yeah.
making feel at ease is be normal, do your job as you do every day. Okay, do not pay attention to any small integrate detail, because I don't think so anyone requires sympathy or empathy. No, why? We require sympathy and empathy when there really is a problem. So the point here which all of us are going to like we are making is, it's not a problem, bro, so you don't have to pay attention. So I think one of the important thing is, like, don't pay attention, just do what you do. When you meet people in conferences, meet as them in a normal way as you can. I think
Mm-hmm.
that is something which drives more self confidence.
Yes.
Okay, and again, it's not from this specific situation. This usually happen in home as well. Like for example, whenever we have done some mischievous thing and we are hiding from our parents. So we are trying to get off the attention. Similarly, for example, we did something wrong and we had some cousins at our place, and now we know that one of our parents will actually scold us, and then we'll feel shy among them. So if you have a group of cousins who pay more attention to, like, are you okay? You just got scolded. Are you okay? But on the other side, if you have a group of cousins who are just like, hey, let's play a game. So feeling like nothing happened, I think this is something we want. And it's not only important from the topic we are discussing, this is natural, I guess. Like, if again, because the topic we are discussing is naturally part of any human, I guess. So
Yep. Yes, it is. I think you hit on a really interesting point, because in the workplace, sadly, it's just like a factory. They expect you to just work and not respect differences. But reality, we are all different. Like people, there's gender, age, race, nation of origin, even the cultural upbringing. It's every single one of us, we're all different. And in my view, in the workplace, we should all be respected for our differences. And that's how we thrive.
Exactly. You don't have to pay attention to like small things. If you start paying attention, the other person will get it. And when the person will get it, they'll start feeling conscious. So if somebody is there and you know he's that person, whosoever it is, they're constantly watching you. In a normal scenario, like for example, you are just like standing at a bus stop and somebody's constantly staring at you. You start feeling uncomfortable, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And you start making those kinds of inhibitions in your mind. It's same.
Yes.
It is same. And again, I would like to emphasize that why we are talking about these things, because our whole topic is to like remove that myth around neurodiversity. So
Absolutely.
right.
And just to move forward, I just want to tell that my cousins have never made me feel normal after I got scolded by my parents. So they've never made me feel normal. They used to always poke me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Example, because things happen like this only. The people start paying you more. Are you okay? Are you feeling sad? You got scolded, and the other person like, yes, I'm frustrated. Don't talk about that. Okay, I think we have something from from Shruti's side. Shruti.
I was actually going to add to all these things that we were discussing about, that the bottom line is like treating every individual as a just human, irrespective of anything, irrespective of any differences. This is what we all keep looking for, even in our office, in schools, amongst our friends, our members, everywhere. So that is one important thing, and I'm very happy that we are actually discussing about this topic especially, and more people will come to know about it. So there are so Nathan, there must be some steps that or suggestions that you must be having, towards including more neurodiverse audience in our cybersecurity domain, knowing that already this is one domain where people are somewhere struggling, then finding it difficult, and it is also a very growing part nowadays. People are talking about all these things. So what are some of your suggestions that you would like to include?
Sure, absolutely. Let's see, start job descriptions, interviews, and corporate cultures all need to change to be more friendly and inviting for neurodiverse workers. First, let's start at the beginning with job descriptions. As we all know, job descriptions, especially for cybersecurity jobs, are notorious for being unrealistic and often to the point of fantasies. Like most nobody can fulfill those requirements. Add to that, they often contain language that discourage job applicants with neurodiverse conditions, such as like being a team player, you got to be very, very social. When a neurodiverse job applicant sees those words, they tend to be very discouraged. In short, the words in a job description need to be changed. Those words that discourage people need to be removed. Second, interviews, they often require a significant amount of social interaction that for many people, even to myself sometimes, it can be a nightmare. Interviews should be limited to one person at a time instead of having big panel interviews. Big panel interviews is difficult. So one at a time. And also questions could be provided ahead of time to make the person more calm and less anxious. And other things such as bright lights can be adjusted to make the person feel comfortable. most importantly, during the interview and after getting the job, neurodiverse workers need to be able to ask and receive accommodations to allow them to excel and thrive. Things like noise canceling headset or having captions for the meetings. Just it's small things that do not cost a lot of money, but it helps people to become more comfortable and they can excel at their job.
That's awesome because I think these are very small pointers and I think which can be included without any involvement of cost. So whenever new things or new kind of, let's say, investments comes to the companies, I think this kind of an investment is just a minute one. So when we have our normal processes of like having meetings, onboarding, termination, transition from one department to another. So like there's so many domains in a business. So if we can include these small pointers, I think they can make a huge difference because sometimes as we have discussed before as well, because the person again who is not able to like, they have some problem in trying to listen that like with the focus. It's not like they cannot listen, it's like the
Mm.
focus. We require focus because their focus lost easily. And
Yes.
similar with reading. Okay, so focus. So if we provide some snippets or we are sharing some subtitles from the presentations so that they can read it, so that they will not feel awkward. Otherwise they will
Exactly.
be looking at their colleagues and thinking, like, what's happening, what if I ask them and they think that am I something else, why am I not able to understand this. So these are very small things. If we can remove these small inhibitions from the workplace, this can give them ease, because these kinds of situations, they are very much connected with anxiety and low self-esteem.
Yes, absolutely. One of my guests shared like during her meetings at her company, so a person or even a software they transcribe and they have captions for the meeting like in real time. Like wow, that just is amazing.
Right, because I think when we know where we are lacking, okay, and lacking not from the point of view that there is some problem, it's just we cannot. Like for me, if I'm not wearing my specs, okay, I'm not wearing my specs, and I just go to a meeting and I have a long sightedness, okay. So if I'm not able to read, then I'll feel a little bit like low in self-esteem, like, oh my god, I just forgot my specs, and now if somebody asks me to share my insights, what do I do? So it's natural, like some things
Hmm.
are quite so natural. It's just if we make like if we can make things easy, and we are making things easy anyhow at workplace. We have so many initiatives from HR and different teams at workplace, like let's do this initiative, this will keep our employees engaged. We do this, right? So why can't,
Yes.
okay. So the whole point is this, companies monthly, they have their hangouts on Zooms or something like that. So we do that. Why do we do that? Because we want to make our audience or make our employees more engaged. We are offering games at certain interval of times, awards in the company. So we do these kinds of things. So why not this? Why not this? So the question is, why not this? So I think you brought a very important change, which is easy to make. But again, how many individuals are bringing this kind of a change in reality in companies? So I think this change can be brought very easily.
Hmm.
If whosoever is are like whosoever will be listening or listening to our video today, I guess they have some very important takeaways to take. They're very, very easy.
Yep, absolutely. And I think in for those accommodations, it really does start from the heart because some people with neurodiverse conditions, they're just too afraid to even ask for them because they don't want to look different or be treated differently. And on top of that, some people they might have pride. These might feel a bit ashamed to admit they need help.
Yeah, and I think it's again, it's not about just neurodiverse audience, okay. It's about everyone. If somebody is short, okay,
Mhm.
and you are like if they are going to office and their workplace table are like longer than their height, they will feel insecure, like
Absolutely.
not for me. Same as with women. If a woman is going to an office and if she wants to go to the restroom and she finds that there is just men restroom, there is no women's restroom, and she'll be like, where would I go? What should I do? And And I think we are bringing some general important points. We are not like referring to specific situation. It's like you have to think about all kind of employees who might join your company.
Absolutely.
You not just have to include that in your business processes, but physical infrastructure as well. A lot of things in your physical infrastructure, a lot of things in your ongoing business processes. You never know that you might connect with a client who might be neurodiverse. For them, you would do that because that's client. But at the
Yes.
same time, you have to think on similar lines for your employees so that they can come to office comfortably. They do not think 10 times like, I don't feel like going. What if this happened? What if that happened? When all these changes are incorporated, I guess the life can become so easy. We ourselves can make life so easy. So again, I think the bottom line is, for varied amount of diversity we have, and in diversity we have men also, so we have men, women, various categories. So the diversity we have to include all the diversity in at our workplace, restaurants, malls, at every place where we can, so that the diverse population can feel the change in a positive manner. And for that, I think it's good to lean in for each other, lean in on each other. Like if you can trust your employer, you can bring these changes, and they can bring for changes further. I think it's just the matter of understanding, and just the matter of bringing those changes and the other party understanding those changes. So, coming to this point, what is the last set of advice you would like to share with our audience today who will be viewing this video?
Sure. Neurodiversity is hard to understand because since a condition such as autism and ADHD, it cannot be seen. Like we don't have like wheelchair, or it's not obvious because we cannot see it. But people struggle with such conditions all over the world. A friend once shared with me that one of their favorite books was and still is The Little Prince. The Little Prince in the story has feelings of alienation and isolation that are relatable to many people, including myself. One of the best quotes in the book is, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And it is so true. To help hire and retain a neurodiverse workforce, we need to use our heart.
Yeah, not just our mind. We have to think from our heart as well. This is such a warm message, Nathan.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today. I think all three of us enjoyed having you today with us and having this heart to heart conversation today. It was a pleasure.
And yeah, and I'm really, really elated, actually, hearing you, and, really, it actually wakes me in a good way, that I'm also coming across these things to be part of cybersecurity and cyber preserve. So that was really, 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 I think it's really necessary for every one of us to actually understand the angles of neurodiversity, and so that they could actually understand this particular term also correctly. The notions needs to be wiped off, and a fresh starts needs to be done to understand this particular terminology, actually take
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we wish you like good luck for your future podcasts. And
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think our audience will love this session today, and maybe we'll have you some other time again as well.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Bye.
session.